Elizabeth Murray is still as fixated on cartoons now as she was as a child. Growing up, she was surrounded by them in picture books and on the screen. To this day, she still draws inspiration from them. From Raggy Dolls to Adventure Time, there is no denying it has shaped her illustrative style. Nowadays, in her illustration, Elizabeth works mainly in black and white and focuses more on the line work. When she uses colour, she usually keeps it fairly simplistic. That being said, she does enjoy using colour and texture when she feels it's appropriate. Elizabeth likes to stay traditional in her methods, although she likes the program GIMP to alter her scans and occasionally colour her work. She has experimented with different software, owns a basic graphics tablet and wants to further her skills in them to keep up with more modern illustration. However, she prefers a sketchpad and set of pens. When starting a project, Elizabeth likes to organise her thoughts beforehand. She usually draws a mind map of all the things that come to mind first, and also likes to put together a mood board of images, colours, and other useful tidbits to get the brain juices flowing. After this, she does her initial research, including artists, symbolism, and a little into the history of the subject. Elizabeth admits that she can become attached to an idea too quickly, so this aids her in being receptive to all sorts of directions in which to take. Throughout the project, Elizabeth often has to remind herself to experiment with different techniques such as ways of colouring and composition. The feedback she gets from her tutors and fellow illustrators helps her with doing this, and in doing so has found new ways of working which she wouldn't have discovered otherwise. The artists she is influenced by include Chris Riddell, Steve Bell and Walter Morland, all of whom are prolific illustrators who have their work regularly featured in print. The detail in their lines and caricatures are what draws her to their work, and any use of colour is subtle enough to not detract from the details of the lines used. She also loves the humour in their work. It has charm that reaches out to a wide audience despite the subject. As she too wishes to go into issue-based illustration, she hopes to accomplish this herself. Other influences Elizabeth has involve day-to-day happenings and people-watching. Things she overhears and observes in the community she is involved in, such as attitudes and habits of herself and others, are often incorporated into her work. She has kept an art journal for nearly 2 years documenting her personal life, and the journal, while mainly like a diary, also functions as a sketchbook. As well as an offline journal, Elizabeth also keeps a blog under the artist name Polyrhythm. Polyillustration has now been running for over 3 years, and to Elizabeth is very useful in seeing how far she has come in her style and her education. She also keeps a Tumblr, which is also useful for finding inspiring images, keeping an eye on up-and-coming illustrators, and for spreading the word about her work. So far, so good.